Hey guys, I'm Will from Tested. I'm here at Comic-Con 2013 with guys who've built this amazing robot. I'm here with Matt Winston, who's the co-founder of the Stan Winston School, and Alan Scott, who's the co-founder of Legacy Effects. Hey guys.
How are you?
Good
morning.
I'm much better now that I've seen something this awesome. Now, Adam helped unveil this the other day at the start of Comic-Con, but I want to know how you built this and how it works.
Yeah.
So it's not really a robot, right?
It's not really a robot. No, it's all movie trickery, but we brought it to the masses and did a public appearance character, which always has its own challenges.
So we said it's not a robot, it's a puppet.
It's actually a suit.
Okay.
It's a suit with animatronics built in, kind of a combination of everything that we do for movies and TV and commercials. So what we've got in here is we've got Bruce Mitchell inside there. He's 6'3", and we needed to transform him into a 9.5 foot tall robot.
And of course, you guys probably spent, what, 6 or 8 months working on this?
No. Yeah. This was about 3.5 weeks of work. That's how late they came to the table with the idea. But
Hold on, how many man hours in 3.5 weeks? That has to be insane.
2,000 man hours. 50 man weeks, right?
50 man weeks, about 25 people put their skill and heart and soul together for that period of time to build this.
Okay, so Bruce is on a pair of stilts inside the shoes.
Bruce is on stilts, and then he's wearing a backpack that raises up, and the secondary pair of arms live about 3 feet above his shoulders.
The bottom one are actually Bruce's arms, and then there's a set of linkages that pop at the top.
I happened upon a group in Japan called Skeletonics that had built this Bunraku type pantograph robot that slaves your arms to the robot arms upstairs, and they had amazing leg extensions too. That was the inspiration. I was like, I've never seen that before, and it's such a fluid, great movement, and that was what this was all about. You have to make it mobile, you have to make it high performance and really impressive. So we took that seed of a concept, we reverse engineered what we thought that they were doing, came up with this guy.
Okay, so one of the things I've never seen in cosplay before is the sound effects. There's no servos or hydraulics inside the robot to speak of, right?
No, there's not.
But every time he moves his arms or legs, I hear hydraulic and servo noises. Hey, first off, when you're doing movie props, you don't get to do that, right?
No, in movies, in fact, you have to be completely silent so that the actors and the dialogue can be heard. And then you add all the sound effects after the fact.
They actually complain about our servos and our hydraulics on set. It's like, you're covering up the dialogue. We need clean dialogue of whoever the actor is we're working with. So we usually have to muffle it. But this was a time for us to embrace it. And when you're live, it's like to make something this big quiet just didn't really work. So we wanted to give it as much noise as possible.
So how do you make the noise tie to the arm movements?
Well, we have a potentiometer in the elbow,
Okay.
so when Bruce moves his arm like this, it sends a signal to a little Arduino and it triggers a series of sounds that we can program in there. And the same thing with the feet. We have proximity sensors that are shooting a laser down to the ground, so it's like radar. He lifts his foot, it tells it to turn on, and he closes the loop by stomping down, and it creates a stomp sound.
So off the shelf hardware.
Off-the-shelf hardware, but with our own custom programming. It all has to be programmed.
Of course.
That's the beauty of open source Arduino, is that you can take these components and mix and match and create things that we've never done before.
This is a magic trick. What the goal of this whole thing is to show people that making real things is still possible and still far cooler than pixels, because you can't bring pixels to Comic-Con. And the sound effects keep people guessing. Is it hydraulic? It can't be a guy. I hear all that noise. So it helps sell the magic effect that he weighs 5 tons, and so the sound has really been a huge benefit.
So you said he doesn't really weigh 5 tons, obviously. There's a man inside.
There's a man inside. With Bruce in there, we might be pushing 350 pounds.
Wow.
But the suit itself is about 135, 150 pounds at the most.
So then is it all cast or vacuum? Well, what are your materials? What materials did you use?
We went for the lightest materials possible. There's a lot of vacuforming in there, but we've got sprayed urethanes and lighter weight. There's a little bit of fiberglass just for strength, but light. Yeah. We did our first test and was like, okay, take it apart. Drill some holes, cut out as much weight as you can, because it would just kill him. He's got to be able to withstand as much time in the suit as possible, so you get that type of audience experience.
And then the last thing is, let's talk about the head a little bit, because it seems to be articulated. Looks like there is some puppeteering there, right?
There is, yeah. I love the R2 Builders group, because they have an R2-D2. My kids fell in love with it at Legoland, and it looks like it's autonomous. But there's a guy over there with his hand into a little messenger bag, and he's controlling it. So we again, our industry is notorious from borrowing from other industries. So we took that idea, and there's a puppeteer that controls the head. It's got elevate and head turn and tilt. He's got lighting effects in the face.
And the spinning power supply on his chest is actually
A CD-ROM.
A CD.
The light behind it, just refracting light.
This had to be a blast to come in and do something. What were the design constraints? When Wired came to you and said, "Hey, we want to build a robot," what did they actually say?
What we talked really broadly first, just about is he a good guy or a bad guy, and we talked about sort of the Transformers model. Is he a Bumblebee, kind of cute and lovable? Is he an Optimus Prime, stern and tough but good, or is he a Megatron? And we opted for the Optimus Prime route. Very dangerous, but if you're on his good side, you're okay.
You try and find his personality, and then you design around that. So they wanted him bristling with weapons, but at the same time approachable, because you don't want to scare people off.
I don't know much about the Stan Winston School, and it's something I'm interested in. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. Stan Winston School was founded to keep alive the creative spirit of my father, Stan Winston, by bringing together the army of geniuses who worked with him to change film history and give them an opportunity to share their work with the world. Up until now, the techniques behind all this magic have been kept a closely held secret, but we feel it's really important to share it, to remind people around the world that you can still do this. Filmmakers, there's a generation of filmmakers who believe the pixel is the best tool in a filmmaker's toolkit, and we strongly disagree, and our mission is to keep this alive forever, and hopefully in 10 years you'll see something twice as cool, and by sharing information, that innovation is possible.
And do you find that the industry is more open to sharing information now? I know for a long time, the effects houses were kind of closed walled gardens of innovation, and people didn't share much between the different houses, right?
Well, there are two approaches. Dick Smith, for those of your fans who know who that is one of the godfathers of makeup effects. He was always big into sharing everything. And then there's the other approach where you want to keep it close and keep the competition at bay. So we have had to negotiate with the studios and really let them know that this really benefits everyone in the long run. The more you share, the more it's out there, the more innovation happens, and doing this sort of stuff has a bright future. So people have come around.
We've shared that philosophy for the school, but when it take it to the public that doesn't have the same skill set. But it is such a small environment of people that do this, the technicians and artists that work with live action stuff, is that they come to us with different ideas from different shops, and it's always been building on those techniques. Of course, it's a business, so you have to be competing against each other, but that's usually not why. They usually don't come to you for one particular material or technique, so it is shared. The guys go from shop to shop, and we're all elevated together that way.
If you think this is all about technique, you're wrong. It's all about artistry and vision and teamwork. That's something you can't give away. You have it in you. So sharing the techniques is just sharing a tool, and
it's all about the execution.
So most of the parts were scrounged, but I know you did some custom work for this build, right?
Yeah, of course. Whenever we do a new character, it's like so much comes from the face and the head. That's the soul of the character. So we knew that was going to have to be a completely unique thing. Most of the parts on there are actually designed in 3D and rapid prototyped for other projects, but for this one we went with Matt and the team and said, what is he going to look like? So we designed a 3D face, rapid prototyped at our own 3D printers with Stratasys, and grew it. So the piece that's up there is actually a grown piece, additive manufacturing more than rapid prototyping. So we're right from the bed, right out onto the floor where the guys installed it and put lights behind it.
So you print with like a deposited fusion printer or something like that, or no?
Yeah, we have several. We have 5 different printers, but that's what we use. Yeah.
And then sand and fill and all the normal stuff that the guys at home do.
Yes. So it's a glorified version of the MakerBot. With Objet, they've got just the higher end, higher detail, tighter tolerances.
Fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much. It's amazing to see this up close, and they can find more about it both on your website and on Wired.
Yes, you should go to Stan Winston School's YouTube channel, Legacy Effects YouTube channel, for lots more of this kind of stuff.
You guys did crazy documentation, recorded the whole building up process.
They covered every minute of the build.
Fantastic. And we'll be back with more from Tested.com at Comic-Con 2013 and on YouTube's Geek Week. See you guys then.